some Monday time, November 6th, we just dealt with, I don't know, 12 minutes of issues, which is actually pretty good for this class. Those of you who have not taken quiz, let's kick you out so you can go take quiz.
Yeah,
You're gonna need book, you're gonna need iPad. If you want to take your folder, because there are questions about short stories, you're welcome to take that with you if you want, but that is up to you.
It's Toba.
Summer?
What's this? Outsiders.
Oh, hey, it's Robert.
Oh yes, you are correct.
It's Cole.
I'm
It's
so
Cole
confused
versus.
for a
That's
moment.
Bull Kirchfield. It's Gershie.
You are
I think it's
correct
Gershie.
again.
What's?
And then on YouTube, we do have Charge Productions, which is our news program. So if you've not gone through and subscribed, I figured I would at least put that out there so you are aware. It is
Can
an
they give me
option of
points?
things you can do.
I'm on Charge.
I don't know if they give you points. You can ask them.
They're fans of
And then we'll talk about the character homework in a moment, and everything else is up on Skyward. If you've done the quiz, excuse me, it's on Skyward. Same thing with homework. It is graded and up on Skyward. So, Wednesday, we are doing something new that our school has never done, and I have never done, so I have no idea how this is going to work. We are doing a fundraiser in this class on Wednesday. I don't know how much class time it's going to take. I don't know how much we're going to get done, so we're going to have to sort of wait and find out how
I don't
it
have a
goes.
phone.
You are going to need either a phone or iPad. Either one works. If you don't have phone, then you have iPad. That's how choices
Yeah,
work.
but I don't have family.
Or you also don't have points. I mean, while we're talking about things we don't have because of choices. And then from there, you're either going to need contacts, meaning phone numbers if you're doing a texty thing, or email addresses of people related to you that have access to a credit card because you're going to be begging them for money. And if they give us money, you get prizes.
Like what?
I have no idea. What part of I don't know did we miss out on? This is literally all I have to give you is what you see in front of you. I have been told to pass this along to you. This is me passing it along to you. This is a thing that is going to happen on Wednesday. You get a chance to win prizes. You're going to need to bring phone or iPad, and you're going to want to have contacts for people that you can send messages to. Hi, May.
The band did this.
Yeah, so did all your stuff.
Callie.
Do we have to?
Yes.
Matei.
So, I don't have a phone or iPad, but can I bring like just cash?
I have.
School
Does
iPad.
it say anything up there about it? There you go. I literally know every information I have is right in front of you. If it does not say a thing up there, I cannot answer it. Yeah.
When is this?
What's up? Nope, we're good. All right.
This
Then,
Wednesday.
Let's take a look at, again, homeworky things. If you've done it, you are good to go.
Let's go.
I've gone through, for the most part, they've been really good. As long as you follow the directions and you put all the information in there, then they've been decent. You have till tonight if you've not done it. I will be officially counting them late when I come in tomorrow morning at 8 a.m., and that is when I officially will go through there and charge you points. Good news is you don't have to stand until Wednesday. The bad news is that's also the day you're going to be doing that whole fundraiser thing. So you might not want to be standing on that same day.
Hi.
Mr. Brovicast.
Hang on one second. I have a kid who needs inspiration, so let me help inspire him.
Wait, what?
I'm inspiring you to help spit out your gum.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I didn't realize when you shoved the trash can in my face. Like, I thought you just that was your way of calling me trash.
It has nothing to do with you blowing giant bubbles right there while I was teaching.
Mr. Brovicast, can I switch?
Like,
That person
Robert,
also
there's
did
no
that
way that's
stuff.
comfortable. There's no way that's comfortable.
That's his legs.
Mr. Brovicast, can I switch with Robert?
On next Monday.
Hey.
So questions as far as the homeworky bits go?
I finished it.
Hey.
It's kind of hard because I'm not in a gang, I'm not a boy, and I'm not weird. Actually, I am. But, like, this has nothing to do with me.
So,
Use
I
something
guess
about
I
Chap.
am.
Well, then use your like
but
brother.
you've also like never ridden in a car? Never gone to a movie?
No.
That is a weird life you lead.
What, do you just like sit in a room, like when you get back from school, you just sit in a dark room?
Oh, I have to do homework.
Yeah.
And then you sit in the
Don't
dark
forget
room.
that part where you talk out loud in
You don't even
class
sleep,
and
you
lose
just sit
points
in
a
there.
lot? Oh wait, no, that's this kid over here who's having quite a Monday.
Yeah, you scared me that time.
Alright, and then no other questions as far as that one goes. Yay! Then, can you shut the door for me so we don't bother those poor kids out there with our extra information?
What do you mean?
Overall average on the quiz was an 86%. We had 4 kids who got a perfect score on it. So go if you were one of those 4 kids who got the perfect score.
In this class?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, I didn't know if it was like. Oh wait, we're the only ones. I
It's okay.
should have been here.
If you have not turned it in or did not do well, you can redo it and get up to the 21 out of 30. I think I only have 2 kids who have not turned it in, and they're both out there in the hallway because they were dead on Friday. Overall,
4 people have turned it in.
No,
Oh
we're
my
gonna
God.
go 100%.
This is
it is fun watching you guys get almost as irritated as teachers sometimes when kids act like kids, and you're like, how do you guys handle this? And the answer is not easy.
Culbertsville.
So, the ones that we struggled on were not too bad. See, the second paragraph of chapter 1, this is a tough one because this is not actually in the story. This requires you to use your brain and think, which for some of you was a wee bit of a challenge. Where he said, I had a long walk home and no company, but I usually loan it anyway for no reason except that I like to watch movies undisturbed. And you had to figure out, what does it mean? Well, does he have friends?
Yeah.
Yeah, so you know it can't
Yeah.
be that one. Is he negative?
No.
No, he's actually fairly positive and thinks on the bright side about things overall. Is there a chance no one would ever go with him? Yeah, he talks about the fact that he could have, like the very next paragraph is, I could have gotten any of my friends to go with me if I had just asked. So going through it, this was more of a, you had to eliminate the ones until you came down to, sometimes like fantasy stories more than real life. And so all the other ones just didn't even make sense compared to what's said in there. This is the only one that even comes close. And then I figured I would show you where the overall answers came in. Most of the wrong answers came in the has never had a real friend. As far as that
That
goes.
makes no sense.
No one joined the Brovicast cult?
Right. And then the only other ones we had issues with were grammar. This one, you actually did all right.
That was easy.
Or I enjoy reading the pranks by the... No, that's not the right one. Sorry, you guys had a different one. I left the same one up there for my regular post. And you guys... I used the same 2 verbs, though. The 2 verbs being...
I enjoy reading.
I enjoy.
There you go. I just changed what you guys were reading about. So most of you guys got reading, and then some people struggled on the enjoy.
I got enjoy. I didn't get reading.
But
No, I did
overall,
upside down.
the correct answer was 83%. We only had 4 kids who didn't get it, so I figured that was a pretty decent one. The last one, 15, was a little bit tougher. Again, I used bully. I just did you guys a different sentence on there. And so the 2 different ways bully was used, when it says is a bit of a bully, would be a noun. And then when he tries to bully,
That's a verb.
because,
He's doing
there you
something.
go.
I did that.
I am a bully when I bully you in class would be the same idea. So it is both a noun and a verb.
I don't bully kids.
And this was the one we struggled a bit more on. Apparently people thought that it was a pronoun. I'm not sure how bully would be a pronoun, but
Yeah, like
and then from there it's kind of spread around.
Oh,
Hi, Reed.
I was kind of confused because I thought they were going to be in order.
Ah, yeah, they're not.
Yeah, I was talking to my dad about this question.
So, so I just put pronoun because I thought it would, because I knew the noun was first, but noun wasn't first on the question.
You gotta go
I
out.
didn't know that not putting them in order was going to throw people off. I apologize. And that was it. The rest of it, you guys did fairly well on. Everything
Wait,
else
what's the
you guys is like answered correctly was all in like the 80s, 90s, and you guys had multiple 100% that every kid got correct. So not a whole lot to help you on as you guys get better at these and I don't know, smarter or something.
It smells
like
good.
that.
book is
Okay, let's
Alex,
Oh, what was the interest of the one where it's like, so, why did the girlfriends leave their boyfriends?
That was because the
Because they were
boyfriends
getting
show up in the
drunk.
Yeah, they
car.
were drunk.
so there's 2 different ones that the kids struggled with. One was why is it they don't walk all the way home to Tuba's house?
No, it's the one where it's
And
like,
that was the boyfriend showing up along the way. And then the other one was what is the boyfriends did that made the girls mad.
I drank beer and that was wrong.
And so what it was is I went through and regraded question 11 for everybody because a lot of you had a correct answer. It's just the way you typed it. Like I had 15 different versions of the answer and you guys still managed to type in things I was not expecting. So I just went through there and regraded it for everybody.
What was the right one?
What was the right one?
Drunk.
Got drunk.
Alright.
Drunk.
Then, before we get to read, a couple things. One, our next checkpoint is going to be end of chapter 8. We do have more death by this point.
Yay!
As we get farther into it, we do have another deathy bit coming up. Try not to ruin deathy bit for other people,
Aiden.
but we do have deathy bits coming up. Alright, I went back and found a few more pictures to throw in to help you. So when they're at the drive-in, they don't sit in cars. Where are they sitting?
Cheers.
Cheers.
And so a lot of drive-ins will have like outdoor stadium seating in this little front area, where instead of sitting in a car, they just have
This is
speakers out
Thompson's
there and
favorite
then
tea.
you can sit in that area. So that was sort of what was happening there. And then I went and looked up the movies they were talking about. These were huge in the 1960s, and they were just called bikini movies. And apparently it's sort of like our version of Marvel movies today, but their superheroes were teenage girls in bathing suits. And apparently that's how they fought crime. And these were huge movies back during that time period. I know if you feel disturbed by the people in these pictures from movies from 70 years ago, but I think there's a chance you'll probably be okay at some point. And then we had the scene where Ponyboy and
Well,
Cherry,
who threw this?
this magical place called the internet, I was just Googling and found it. When they were talking to each other on the way to the get popcorn, we find out about Johnny and what happened to him, and who beat up Johnny before?
Bob.
Specifically Socias. Well, not specifically. Socias. And then specifically we can find out
Cherry's boyfriend.
Bob, who turns out to be Cherry's boyfriend. I thought that was a pretty good representation of Bob. So how do we know that it was Bob that beat him up?
Oh yeah.
In the blue lake
See?
stadium.
Don't you worry, Derby. I had the rings covered.
Like brass knuckles, but not.
And so he had all the rings on his fingers when he beat up Johnny, and that's how we make that recognition.
And it was like
Which
the
is
blue
why
thing.
when Ponyboy's telling the story to Cherry and he's talking about all these rings, her face gets really white and looks like all the blood fell out of her face because she realizes, oh, my boyfriend is the one that beat the crap out of this kid. My boyfriend's not such a good person. But it's okay because he's not going to be around tomorrow anyway.
Yay!
Sorry, spoiler.
Bro, come on.
First thing you read last week. Again, just to show you the characters. Then let's see. Through chapter 3 real quick. Let's help you out. They talk about the Beatles because this was who the Socias all liked, and they thought the Beatles were the best. They also talk about a Beatles haircut. Beatles haircut is like this floppy hair. During this time period, the popular hairstyle for boys was really short. Like sort of Matei's would be even kind of considered long and shaggy. Ricardo's would definitely be considered long and shaggy.
Robert, why is your hair so long?
Some of the others of you, so like most of the rest of you who wear your hair, if you're a boy, would definitely be considered this new hairstyle, which was sort of long and grown out. They were just getting past the like buzz cut, like shaved head look. And then the greasers liked Elvis Presley. He has the long, shaggy hair. Hi, Jojo.
I just found an ironic coincidence.
Yeah.
So, how Ralph Macchio, his name is Johnny in this. His arch enemy in Cobra Kai.
It's Johnny.
Johnny Lawrence.
Weird connection. And then we find out who had the horse.
Soda pop.
And what was the horse's name?
Mickey
And
Mouse.
that was Mickey Mouse. We talked about the horse that he loved, and he had to give up the horse. There's your horse and soda pop looking
Yeah, I got
happy.
sold off.
Who pulls up in the blue Mustang?
Boyfriend Bob.
Cherry and the
Their boyfriends, Bob, Randy, and other ones.
Big Randy.
And this is where Bob gets out, and they threaten each other, and then this is where the girls ride home.
Brass knuckles.
When they talk about the Beatle haircut, this is the Beatles haircut that we were talking about. So this is when they were making fun of the Socias for their hair, and they were starting to wear shaggy hair like that. I have no idea why they have a bunch of babies. It's because the Beatles were weird. So this was the scene when they were on their walking home, and then they show up,
That's Rovio.
It's Gotcha Life.
and then he has all of the rings, and they do all the threatening, and that's when Cherry's like, no, I'll go home with you, Bob. I don't want you to get into a fight. Oh, and what had Bob and Randy and the others been doing?
Following him.
Drinking, and then the following is going to come up in a
Bro, why
moment,
is
so
there
apparently drinking does not lead
That's
to
what
good
Lee was
things.
doing.
They did bust the bottle, and that's when they were going to get into a fight. Luckily, they didn't have to yet. And then this is who is it falls asleep in the empty lot?
Johnny
Ponyboy.
And that's when they're staring up at the stars, and they just fall asleep in the empty lot. Don't they look so adorable? You just want to give them a little Gucci goo on their cheeks.
Chap.
Then, when Ponyboy gets home late, what issue comes in?
He gets
He gets slapped.
By
Dairy.
So, with this scene, real quick, how old is Derry?
20.
Yeah, he's 20 years old, and he is taking care of 2 teenagers. If you are not aware, teenagers are a pain in the butt. So the fact that you have to take care of 2 teenagers is...
Yeah, I'm not that bad.
I'm sorry, did you guys just backtalk me about being a pain in the butt?
I'm
You're
not.
like, uh-huh.
I'm a teenager and I'm like so nice.
Yeah, totally not a pain. So, Derry, now, with this, what just happened to Pony Boy, like, the day before?
He got in trouble.
He got
Got beat up.
Beat up by socials.
Oh, yeah.
But then he got in trouble.
Yeah, grab the little pass that says nurse over there. And so he had just gotten beat up the night before. Now we also find out from them that if they get called by the cops, what's going to happen?
They get like trouble. They have to pay money.
No.
They split up.
They get split up, and then all of a sudden, Derry is going to be on one side, and then Pony Boy and Soda are going to have to go to a boys' home. So because of that, Derry is freaking out. It's Friday night, 2 a.m., and your youngest brother is not home yet. And you know, yesterday, he just got jumped by a bunch of socias who tried to beat him up. But if you call the police, and the police show up, and he was not out getting attacked, and was just running around being a kid, now the police are involved, and he gets put into a boys' home. If you don't call the police, and he's getting beat up by all of these socias, and you did nothing to save him, and he ends up like Johnny laying in somewhere, now you're a horrible brother. So here Derry is going, do I call the police and save my brother? Or if I call the police, does that send him to a boys' home? Which one am I supposed to do? I can't think. And then all of a sudden, Pony Boy walks in at 2 a.m. going, and just walks into the house, and Derry's like, ah, teenagers, where were you? And Pony Boy's like, chill out, man. What's this up? And that's when Derry just all of a sudden is like, ah, teenagers, smack, and hits him, because sometimes teenagers get a little mouthy. Should you hit them? No.
Yes.
Does it get very tempting at times?
Yes.
For me, no, but probably for other people, yes. And Derry has a slight break and smacks poor Pony Boy, which, as you see in this picture straight from the movie, is when he slaps him, and that is when Pony Boy runs away, and apparently he's really upset.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
Totally
Derry was
tall.
like,
I didn't know he wore.
I didn't know he was 7'7".
When they run away, or when Pony Boy runs away, who does he grab?
Johnny.
And where do they go?
Church. Fountain. To the park.
To the
Fountain.
park. So this brings us to the fountain in the park.
That's me. That's
The fountain in the park. So this is what they're talking about with fountains in the park. They're not talking about the ones we have in the hallway where you get to go glub glub, but they're talking about the big ones like that. So big park, they're hanging out there. There we go. There's Johnny and Pony Boy.
wait, why is it look different from the last one?
Doing things that kids do, and then who shows up while they're there?
The social.
Specifically, which socials?
Bob.
And Randy and his friends. So there's Bob and his friends. And what is it Bob and Randy want to do?
Beat up.
No, that's not what they say. They're
Give him a bath.
They decide that they're going to be nice, and they're like, you know what? It's 2 a.m. and your hair is dirty. We're here to help. And they decide to wash his hair. And they look around and go, if only there was a good location for a hair. There is! And they see the water fountain, which is perfect for hair washing. So they go ahead and push Johnny down. They go, you need to wait your turn, be patient. And then they go grab Pony Boy so that he can wash his hair. And they put Pony Boy in the water and they start washing his hair. But apparently Pony Boy is much like the witch from Wizard of Oz, and he's like, water, water! And starts screaming out, afraid that he is going to melt. And that's
Alex, they are wins.
when Johnny decides to do a thing. And what does Johnny decide to do?
Witch! He's a witch!
Pulls out his switchblade.
Stab
And-
Bob in
and
the
that's-
leg.
Here's where our issue comes in also. Matei, apparently you get to leave towards the end of class.
Aww.
How sad you do this, aren't you?
I'm gonna take. Can we
Now-
like trade?
Let me bring out my fake knife.
Yeah.
So,
It's not a fake
I'm
knife.
not gonna, sure it is. I'm not gonna bring in a
It's not
real knife.
fake.
That could scare a child. And so, Johnny pulls out his knife and he stabs Bob. Problem is, Bob wasn't the one that was doing the drowning / hair washing.
Was it?
Because in the story, Bob is sort of the ringleader. He actually, in the story, yells, David, grab him! And this other guy named David goes over and does it. And Bob is just sort of standing over to the side. So the issue is, Johnny stabs Bob, who's over here, not the people who are doing the hair washing.
Well, I
So the
mean, like,
question comes up, Why stab this person as opposed to these
No,
people?
I know. I'm like a professional stab know-it-all.
Storks?
Because John.
So
Okay.
because
You're not storks. You're Alex.
Thanks.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Because Bob was the one who beat him up like so badly before, and he's like, revenge.
And so, you said the magic word.
No.
Because most people say this was self-defense.
no.
It would be self-defense if Bob was actively doing something to him. But Bob was just going, you wait your turn. And Johnny's like, I'm impatient!
Bob
And that's
was
when he
chilling.
jumps up and goes stabby, stabby,
Straight in the chest.
Mr. Brovia.
stabby, stabby, and then he stabs poor Bob. So again, it's like, it's no longer self-defense. If I see Reese over here drowning Monospi, and I'm like, Monospi, I'm going to save you! Yank, 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 yank. You feel safe? No? Yank, yank. And so he goes over and stabs this other person, and he was like, yep, she looks safe now. And then everyone else takes off running. So that's where it goes from self-defense to revenge, and that's where things get a little iffy.
In the movie, Bob was doing the drowning, and then Johnny like pulled out his knife.
I know.
and
That's
they all
why I
went
like
dead.
kids watching the movie, because it messes them up. Joe-yo!
So technically, what I'm hearing is, so Ponyboy invited Johnny to a Fortnite lobby, and Ponyboy was already in a game, so he just wanted Johnny to wait in the lobby. But Johnny found a way to hack the game and spectate, and was able to play. And Ponyboy was getting lasered by 3 teams, and Johnny decides to help by going to Tilted while Ponyboy's in Pleasant
Sounds like a good way of looking at it.
and wiping a completely different squad.
Yeah. Lots of death. Hi, Alex.
So the reason that he stabbed him instead of going straight to there is because Bob would probably like not let him go and save Ponyboy.
Oh,
So
yeah,
he had to
sure.
stab
We're
them.
gonna find out. Now, at this point, Ponyboy is innocent because he was busy getting his hair washed. Problem is, as soon as Ponyboy wakes up, Johnny says something to him.
I killed
And
him.
as soon as Johnny says this thing, that makes him guilty too. Because what does he say?
I killed that boy.
So as soon as he admits to the crime and
Oh, he's
goes,
an accomplice.
I killed this boy. I did. With this knife. He's dead. Because of me. I am guilty.
Is Ponyboy
As soon
dead?
as he confesses to crime, Ponyboy knows of crime. According to the law, if you know of a crime that's been committed, you have to report it.
Oh wait, you do?
Association.
There you go. If you don't, you are considered guilty by
You're
association,
an asset to,
and he
to
does
murder.
not. So at that point, he becomes
an asset to murder.
Bro, what is that?
he becomes a sort of a accomplice to this whole
An
crime.
asset.
What cares?
And
He had an
there's-
assist.
Then they go find Dally, and why do they choose Dally?
Because
Because he knows how to run from the
knows
hospital.
the history of cops.
He's got the history of making poor choices.
I don't know, they should go to the cops.
Turns out that it was a good idea because Dally tells them where to go, which is this old abandoned church in Windricksville, and gives him this jeans jacket to keep him warm because apparently when Ponyboy was getting his hair washed, he got all wet and soggy.
No way.
And then they talked about Hank Williams when he showed up because like the guy's house, and so Hank Williams is like old cowboy music, like the whole like I'm walking on a something with a cow. I don't know. You go on this magical place called Spotify and you can type in Hank Williams. Not Hank Williams Jr. He does like the theme song for Monday Night Football. That's his really hip kid. Hank Williams was the guy that sings like little doggy home on the range kind of stuff, and that was the music they were listening to.
Mr. Brovia,
Now it's time. Hi, Reed.
Hey, is that a phone, Reese?
like back then, was $50 a lot of money?
Yes.
So how did Dally have all that?
There's a chance, not legally, if I had to guess. Probably involved robbing or stealing or something. Are you playing some? Keep going. That was it. I'm not taking it.
Bro.
It's not.
Trying to fast forward. Oh,
That's
not
not
yes.
correct.
No, that's Louis Armstrong.
That went under.
Hey, good looking.
Hey, I can
Yeah, there's Hank Williams.
This is in the 40s.
Yeah,
Okay, we're good.
Why does his voice sound like that?
that's how he sounded all the time.
Sound like a McDonald's
Did he smoke?
drive-thru person? Like,
Now they're out of church, and now we get a chance to be good.
Did he
Wait.
Probably. Probably a half a minute.
Let me get there.
Well, there is a big thing that tells you what page to help you out. I woke up late in the afternoon. For a second, oh wait, I think now that you guys know what page it is, I think I have a picture.
67.
There we go.
68.
Old church.
a church is.
You know how it is when you wake up in a strange place and wonder where in the world you are until memory comes rushing over you like a wave. I half convinced myself that I had dreamed everything that had happened the night before. I'm really home in bed, I thought. It's late, and both Derry and Soda Pop are up. Derry's cooking breakfast, and in a minute, he and Soda will come in and drag me out of bed and wrestle me down and tickle me until I think I'll die if they don't stop. It's me and Soda's turn to do the dishes after we eat. Then we'll all go outside and play football. Johnny and Tubit and I will get Derry on our side, since Johnny and I are so small and Derry's the best player. It'll go like the usual weekend morning. I tried telling myself that while I lay on the cold rock floor, wrapped up in Dowley's jacket, listening to the wind rushing through the trees' dry leaves outside. Finally, I quit pretending and pushed myself up. I was stiff and sore from sleeping on that hard floor, but I'd never slept so soundly. I was still groggy. I pushed off Johnny's jeans jacket, which had somehow gotten thrown across me, and blinked, scratching my head. It was awful quiet, with just the sound of rushing wind in the trees. Suddenly, I realized that Johnny wasn't there. "Johnny!" I called loudly. That old wooden church echoed me. "Johnny! Johnny! Johnny!" I looked around wildly, almost panic-stricken, and then caught sight of some crooked lettering written in the dust of the floor. "Went to get supplies. Be back soon. JC." Real quick, who is the JC?
Jesus Christ.
Johnny Kate, yeah. And that's the issue, is every year I have kids who think it's Jesus Christ because they're in church. And they're like, Jesus must have shown up and written a message in the dust. That's why I've now learned to stop and ask before kids are like,
Jesus literally just
I didn't know
pulled up.
Jesus was a character? And I'm like, yeah, he just
The
showed up
character
for
in Family
this
Guy.
one scene. I sighed and went to the pump to get a drink. The water from it was like liquid ice. It tasted funny, but it was water. I splashed some on my face, and that woke me up pretty quick. I wiped my face off on Johnny's jacket and sat down on the back steps. The hill the church was on dropped off suddenly about 20 feet from the back door, and you could see for miles and miles. It was like sitting on the top of the world. When you haven't got anything to do, you remember things in spite of yourself. I could remember every detail of the whole night, but it had the unreal quality of a dream. We're at the bottom of page 69. I'm sorry. It seemed much longer than 24 hours since Johnny and I had met Dally at the corner of Pickett and Sutton. Maybe it was. Maybe Johnny had been gone a whole week and I just slept. Maybe he'd already been worked over by the fuzz and was waiting to get the electric chair since he wouldn't tell where I was. And maybe Dally had been killed in a car wreck or something and no one would ever know where I was. And I just die up here alone and turn into a skeleton.
What?
My overactive imagination was running away with me again. Sweat ran down my face and back, and I was trembling. My head swam, and I leaned back and closed my eyes. I guess it was partly delayed shock. Finally, my stomach calmed down, and I relaxed a little, hoping that Johnny would remember cigarettes. I was scared, sitting there by myself. I heard someone coming up through the dead leaves toward the back of the church, and I ducked inside the door. And then I heard a whistle, long and low, ending in a sudden high note. I knew that whistle well enough. It was used by us and the Shepherd gang for Who's There. I returned it carefully, then darted out the door so fast I fell off the steps and sprawled flat under Johnny's nose. I propped myself up on my elbows and grinned up at him. "Hey, Johnny, fancy meeting you here." He looked down at me over the big package. "I swear, Pony Boy." Sorry, wrong voice. "I swear, Pony Boy, you're getting to act more like Two-Bit every day." I tried unsuccessfully to cock an eyebrow. Who's acting? I rolled over and sprang up, happy that someone was there. What'd you get? Come on inside. Dally told us to stay inside. We went in, and Johnny dusted off a table with his jacket and started taking things out of the sack and lining them up neatly. A week's supply of bologna, 2 loaves of bread, a box of matches, Johnny went on. I got tired of watching him do it all, so I figured it was probably better to wait till tomorrow and we'd finish it then. Sorry, class is over.
What? Did you play video? That's playing. Did you stop the video, Mr.
Wait,
Diaz?
oh my god, like you